Hello again guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode about food where I'm going to share with you some very easy plant-based recipes. These are the sort of things that I fall back on a daily basis, and of course on a video like this, where do we start? Breakfast. And in all honesty, a video of mine about food that didn't include porridge oats just wouldn't be a video of mine. I think I've eaten porridge oats probably once a day for the last 10 years, and I've probably eaten it in about 100 different ways, but this is my favourite recipe at the moment. So I've just got Scottish porridge oats in the bowl there, and I've added 1 Weetabix, and I'm adding some plant-based milk. My favourite at the minute is just oat milk. I don't measure any of this, I just eyeball it, so if you need measurements, just flood it. No, it's probably about 400 to 500 milliliters of milk. Now, I've actually got a newfound respect for any food vlogger, because doing this with one hand whilst holding the camera is very difficult. So you can see me mashing it all together with a spoon.
Wilbur, you want to get in?
Now, what I will say is this was filmed on a leisurely Saturday morning where I'm taking things a little bit slower than usual. However, you know, this sort of recipe can be used any day of the week, obviously, and it's pretty quick and easy, and it involves a microwave, which is very much up my street, if I'm honest. And if you're not happy with the consistency of your mush, then add some more milk. But when you are happy, add it in the microwave, pop it on full power for about 3.5 minutes. And what I do in this time is I make myself a coffee. Oh, there it is.
Right, Will. Sit. Sit. So obedient, that's lovely. Hello, Wilby. Hello, Wilby. Oh, is that nice? Is that nice? Oh, good boy.
And being the great husband that I am, I spend my 3.5 minutes emptying the dishwasher. But obviously at this point I've washed my hands because I've been scratching Wilbur. But in all seriousness, this is why I use the microwave to cook my breakfast. It gives me an extra few minutes to step away, check some emails, or do a quick bit of housework. And look at this, even have time to spare. And when it is eventually done in the microwave, this is where the magic happens, ladies and gentlemen. I add a few secret ingredients to the dish to make it something a little bit special. So the first is some linseed and pumpkin seed mix, which I get from Aldi. Add some good omega-3 fats and protein and a little bit of texture. And the next thing is some frozen berries. This time I was using blueberries, but my favorite is probably cherries. And I add the frozen berries straight from the freezer into the porridge, and then the heat of the mixture really thaws out the berries. And added to the benefit of just being easy to defrost berries in this way, you can save a bit of money by buying frozen fruit, which is generally cheaper, and just cracking it out whenever you need to use it.
Are you on your breakfast? Are you ready for your breakfast? Yeah? Where is it?
And that's the other thing about this meal. Arthur absolutely loves it. Right, now here's the secret ingredient. This is the apple pie seasoning, which is essentially, I think it's cinnamon, nutmeg, and a bit of sugar, but it essentially makes the whole dish taste like some sort of apple pie. Well, not apple pie, the berries that you have stirred in pie. So blueberry pie, but it is awesome, mate. I add it liberally on the top and I stir it in. And I picked this up from Aldi, which, as you know, is probably my favourite shop. But if you don't have this, cinnamon will do.
Oh, Will. Mommy. Good boy. Is that nice? What do you think? Like it? One for you. One for me. One for you. One for me. Another one for you. Can you say hi? Hiya.
Okay guys, after breakfast the next meal is going to be lunch, weirdly enough, and for me today it's going to be 2 rounds of sandwiches of Marmite and peanut butter. And if you haven't tried this, definitely give it a go. It's an acquired taste though, and if you don't like Marmite, you probably think it's rough. And my bread of choice is this Hovis granary wholemeal, which is awesome and it goes really well in this sandwich. And wherever possible, I do try and use the 100% peanut butter, which just contains nuts. As you can see here by the magic of video, I've added it to the bread already. And then I smear my knockoff Marmite that I get from Aldi because I prefer this because it's more liquidy and it basically is easier to spread on top of peanut butter. But I add liberal amounts to my bread on top of the peanut butter in that order, by the way, because it does help the spreading. But like I said before, Marmite is really a love-hate thing, and I love it, and I've had it since I was a kid, and I like mouth-stingingly large amounts of it in my sandwich. But I can't take credit for this combo. I think I saw it on Instagram, and I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. I love peanut butter, and the two together taste like dry roasted peanuts. And as is the case for almost all meals that I eat, I'll either try to add some fruit or veg to the dish, and in this case it's going to be spinach, which adds a nice crisp texture and taste to the sandwich. And as it is a cruciferous green, it's also full of vitamins and iron, and I actually find it to be quite neutral tasting, so I add it to a lot of my dishes. And with my lunch I usually have a bottle of water, and afterwards a couple of pieces of fruit, in this case a banana and a satsuma. The next meal I thought I'd share with you is a snack that sometimes I eat as a snack, sometimes as lunch, depends how the day's going. It's basically avocado and tomatoes on toast, done a bit schmancy. So I use this rye bread that I toast to death because I like it really crispy. And then I use these vine ripened cherry tomatoes, which are much sweeter and crisper than your standard cherry tomato, but you could use whatever. And then I use half a ripe avocado. I can't tell you what variety it is, only that it's come from Chile. I think it's the Hass type. Has. I really don't know how to pronounce it. Someone let me know how to pronounce it. Meanwhile, while I'm still faffing around cutting up avocados, my rye bread is still being toasted because I put it down for ages, and this gives me an opportunity to rinse my cherry tomatoes. And when your toast is eventually done, this is where the digitizing of your avocado comes in. You can just scoop the little pieces out of the skin and effectively smoosh it into your bread. Obviously, if you've got one of those really ripe avocados, you won't need to do this. You can just scoop it straight from the cut avocado. But I find it very difficult to find the right consistency of an avocado. Proper first world problem there. It's either rock hard or too soft. So I buy them when they're less ripe, so I get an opportunity to actually use them, as opposed to the ripe and ready ones that you can get in the supermarket, which are okay if you use them on the day, but because they've been felt up by so many people, they're generally overripe and they turn within about a day and they go grey or green and furry. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, enough about my avocado hardships. What I do next is I cut my cherry tomatoes up into halves or quarters and I just plonk them on top in a random order. And then I usually top it all off with freshly milled black pepper and also some milled ground sea salt, which really enhances the flavour of the cherry tomatoes. Check me out. Just call me Jamie Oliver. And there you have it, guys. There's the dish. But if you want to make it a little bit schmancy, right, you could add some extra toppings. Just like breakfast, there's some secret touches you can add to this dish. My personal favourites being smoked paprika, which adds a smoky flavour to the dish. I have no idea why. And the last thing I top it all off with is dried chili flakes, which gives the dish a nice little spicy kick. And I really think you should give this a go, guys. This is one of my favourites. I've been rinsing it for ages. It's got the sweetness of the tomatoes, the creaminess of the avocados, and on the crispy rye bread, it's full of textures. I mean, look at those crispy edges, honestly. Give it a go. Let me know what you think. Okay, guys, it's 10 to 8. We've been at the gym this evening after work, and so we need a dinner that we can just bung in the oven and just get done. So I'm preparing that while Sean puts Arthur in the bath. Super easy dinner. It's like, you know, oven dinners aren't always that great for you. I call them yellow dinners because they're generally yellow. But what I'd like to do, and I just can't just eat a pure yellow dinner, is I'll eat a lot of veg on the side. So I'll show you typically what I prepare. This takes like no time, as long as it takes to put the stuff in the oven, and that's it really. As you see, it's kind of getting late. I just need something easy so I can kind of go and have a shower as well. I just let you know right now, as I probably mentioned, that, you know, my cooking skills leave a lot to be desired. I'm no expert at any of this. I kind of used to eat just for, you know, nutrition, but kind of have to make it a little bit tasty and edible when you live with someone else.
But it's a really easy dinner. We use Linda McCartney stuff instead of burgers because I don't eat meat. Sian eats meat, but when I'm cooking, she doesn't eat meat. Unless it's, you know, something special. Yeah, that's what's happening now.
So there's really nothing to this, and there's very little that can go wrong. So you just put it all on an oven tray. And in this case, we're using oven chips and some veggie fingers. And then I have the Linda McCartney quarter pounders, which are really lean, but actually very tasty and vegan. And then my wife will have the Linda McCartney vegetarian quarter pounders, which include cheese, but are equally as nice. And as I mentioned, this is a really quick and easy dinner. It all cooks at the same temperature. You can just bung it all on a tray, stick it in the oven and walk away. But like all my meals, I do try to add some fruit or vegetables. And in this instance, we're going to add some sliced green pepper, some sliced carrots, some mange tout, and some sliced cucumber.
Are we on this? Good boy. Get her out. Move up. What's wrong with that? Good.
Now what I was attempting to do here is defrost some buns in the microwave that were in the freezer ahead of the burgers being ready, but it didn't go too well.
Still hard.
At this point there's only about 10 or 15 minutes left for the burgers and chips to be ready, so I started plating everything up, all the remainder of the things, which included these colourful cherry tomatoes that I like to use. Again, really sweet, like you saw in the avocado video, but they're just colourful. You've got to add colour to your plate. So guys, that is it. I know it doesn't take much know-how to do this meal. It is very easy, anyone can do it, even me. But I would consider this a relatively healthy meal, done in about 25 minutes. But it is pretty well balanced when you add a lot of veg like I do. You've got a bit of protein in the burger, and I like to top things with my favourite side, tomato ketchup, barbecue sauce, and this Nando's peri-peri salt for the chips. And the best thing about this meal is that Arthur enjoys it as well. But there you have it guys, 4 incredibly easy plant-based recipes that I really do eat on a regular basis. The first being a hench bowl of porridge made with frozen berries of your choice and loads of cinnamon. The next was a peanut butter and Marmite sandwich done Ross style, which means stuffed with loads of spinach and a couple of bits of fruit on the side. I also showed you one of my favourite snacks, which is toasted rye bread with avocado and cherry tomatoes with a few extra spices on top. And then finally, my lazy but healthy plant-based burger and chips, served with a couple of veggie fingers and a plate full of crunchy, colourful vegetables. And like I keep saying guys, none of this is difficult and it is all plant-based. So if you're interested in trying out some plant-based recipes, there's surely one here you can give a go. I've got lots more that I'd like to share with you, but the message really is here that eating healthily really doesn't have to be complicated. You just make sure you're eating a varied, whole foods diet with lots of fruits and vegetables, and you can't go wrong. Thanks for watching guys. See you next time.